So, guys, how are you? I'm so thankful to you that you gave me this opportunity to make this video. I was really expecting, I am while engaging with primal communities to find someone that was enough open-minded to listen to other opinions and, having the possibility to express myself without getting attacked. So I will be making this video also for all the people that out there are not primal that maybe may have the same questions, but so the questions were originated from friends in a primal Telegram group. So let's get to the question. The first one is, what is the need of cooked food and why, when I am eating cooked food, I cannot digest them? It's a very interesting question, and it leads me to speak about my journey. So I began to don't feel well many years ago, and the situations got worse and worse, and it stayed for years. I would say for years, and I began. My father is a medical doctor, a chief medical doctor, and it is quite unhealthy. And so I decided to don't follow that route, fortunately. And so I began right away with, alternative medicine. Now, I tried everything. I tried, so my problem was not constipation, because the person that asked me, I think that has problem with constipation, but it was the opposite problem, which is constant diarrhea, which is kind of worse, not because, constipation is painful, of course, but when you have diarrhea, well, you begin to, have some in particular for months and months. And for the diarrhea, by the way, I just don't mean plain diarrhea, but also, loose stools, for example. So actually, you begin to lose nutrients. You begin to lose lots of things. So food would sit in my stomach for an infinite time of, hours, the whole day. It was so awful. What's wrong? So I began to, search around and around, and many answers came to me. So maybe you have a problem with liver, maybe you have a problem with stomach acid, maybe you have a problem with pancreatic enzymes production. And in my experience, now I am a holistic practitioner, as you know, every of these aspects can be true. All at the same time. Okay, so, but my question would be, how do you fix that? Very, kind of tough question. My answer is, you have to go really deep inside your biochemistry. It's not a problem of just toxins, So I'm in particular referring to primal people that know very well the problems of toxins. But still, I think that they not understand properly how the problem of toxins is a secondary problem. Is of course a very, very important problem, but why we get toxins in the first place? First things first, of course, the world is not natural anymore. This is why I think that natural medicine alone is not enough. We are in a world that has 1000% the toxins that we used to find before the Second World War. These are data. But most importantly, all the toxins that we come in contact with are not blocked by our minerals. Why? Because actually, we don't have enough minerals. Where? In the tissues. That is why I use hair tissue mineral analysis. Blood test is not going to tell you anything about that. So the match of your health, life versus death, is a match that is played in your tissues, in your cells, not in your blood, you know. And we have lots of variables. One variable is the nutrients that you are taking bioavailable? There are lots of calcium, for example, around, but I ask you, are the forms of calcium you are taking in bioavailable? Because if they are not, they are going to poison your body. Your body will treat those forms of non-bioavailable minerals like toxins, plain and simple. In fact, for example, the calcium that is not bioavailable will begin to clog up in your body and will begin to make your body calcified, which is, the name calcification. And there is a great scientist named Hans Selye that discovered the stress and discovered the calcification and wrote a book in the 60s named Calciphylaxis. And, all this situation, so the poverty of minerals in particular, the poverty of nutrients, are going to ramp up all these pathological situations that actually were not there in the ancient times where natural medicine was invented. The bodies were not calcified, okay, because there wasn't that much amount of toxic forms of calcium that is around in these days. And all this situation will make your body stale, will make your body clogged up. If you are calcified, your organs are not, your organs needs to be soft, humid, resistant, elastic, but not rigid, okay? In nature, if something is rigid, it's dead, right? It is, you can go and ask every biologist. Something needs to be alive, and what is alive is, if you think about something alive, you think about something that is, humid, like water, where, like a river where some algae grow, etc., etc. Fish are roaming around. So, this is just to give you a general introduction to the topic. That's why I tell you that, because actually I've worked very much on, before doing the science I apply to myself and my clients, that I called guardians. I call my clients guardians of balance. I tried for years to fix, the stomach acid issue. And I kind of succeeded, but still food were there, stuck in the stomach for hours. Then I tried digestive enzymes. Still, a bit better, but no, it didn't went very good. Also, you need to be very careful when taking supplements, because you need to really, really choose some bioavailable form. And in that sense, I do not agree with people that tell that, all the supplements are just plain poison. It's not like that. Maybe in the past that was correct, because actually they were synthesized and, from bad sources. But nowadays, you can find some good sources. Of course, they will not be so I am kind of against supplementation if not done properly, okay? And you need really an expert to do that. And you really, but you can really benefit if you find an expert. But that's another point. The point is that when you begin to fix your minerals and vitamins and nutrients in the tissue, and in particular in the soft tissues, then your body will begin to ramp up the production of enzymes, of hormones. Okay, so in my opinion, you cannot do that with diet alone. And so this was, for speaking about my personal experience. Then what happened? I began, to renourish my body, my tissues, with constant hair tissue mineral analysis done every 4 months. And then I began to feel better and better. And then what happens is that you begin to to feel, to go inside yourself, and you will begin to know that that heaviness that you are feeling when you are digesting actually are some kinds of emotions that are stuck in there. And when you are begin to renourish your body, those emotions will begin to flow more freely. And that is the moment when you begin to heal and your digestion got better. Now, another point. We need to talk about SIBO. And that is a very interesting point because I'm replying directly to primal people. You know, Agenus, it is kind of myth that Agenus said that all microbes are good. Actually, Agenus, in some interview, said that there are some man-made microbes or, microorganisms that are not good, that are bad. One, for example, is buttocks, But again, my humble opinion is that Agenus really underestimated and was not his fault. These are informations that when he was alive, they were not given, But we are discovering that microbes, viruses, etc., are getting aberrant, are getting mutagenic. So when a microbe get in contact, for example, with antibiotics, but I would say also with cadmium, also with lead that you find in the air that you breathe. Okay, that is why I'm saying that this world is not natural anymore. Okay, 100 years ago, people didn't have to worry about lead in the air. Try and summon some spirit of, a person that has lived 1,000 years ago and then ask them, how would you do in your times with, lead in the air? They would say, well, lead in the air? Are you fucking crazy? Okay, lead in the air is something new. Okay, and there are so much lead in the air, and lead is a very dreadful toxic metals to have, and we all have it in some way, deep inside our bodies. So when microbes come in contact with those kind of with generation in microbes, generations and generations, those microbes are going to be mutagenic, are going to mutate. And these mutations, in my opinion, are not a good mutations. So I can say that Agenus is for sure right on the parasites thing, because actually it has been studied that people that do not have contact with parasites are more prone to get autoimmune disease. And this is and things that you can search on the internet. It is called hygiene hypothesis. And sorry, I just noticed that. I just finished to eat. So sorry. That is not to say that since... Sorry, I had to pause the video because there was a neighbor that was screaming. Okay. It's not to say that all the microbes you are getting are good. Okay, so actually, when I did a program, I did a 3 months program to fix these problems in the gut. I had serious bursts of fever. I was feeling so bad, but actually my digestion got better and better. So my digestion got better and better when, in the first place, when I was replacing the micronutrients, because, bacteria are quite big. If you take a mineral, it is an atom, it is so small. And if you compare it to a microbe, it's like comparing like a golf ball to a building, to a palace. A microbe is big as a palace, but an atom is very, very small. Sorry for the neighbors here. People are crazy. And then, finally, my digestion got very, very perfect, I would say, fixing those issues. So, we also have to open our mind to the fact that we live in an unnatural world. So, what happens? If you have that kind of bacteria, okay, they will ask you, to have toxic metals, because they are living off toxic metals. And when you are getting good nutrients, they're not going to digest it. They're going to let the good food sit in your stomachs, because actually the good kind of bacteria, and even parasite, I would say, the good kind of parasites, are eating your nutrients in order to process it. So actually your body got fed with the feces of those little critters, you know. But when you have bacteria that are eating cadmium, lead, etc., it's not like they just eat the cadmium, so cadmium is not there. No, they will that will hack your autonomic nervous system and will tell your brain and your gut, have those kind of food, and when you are not having that, they are going to punish you by telling your gut, stop. It is the enteric nervous system. It is a part of the autonomic nervous system that is located in your gut, and it regulates all the digestion. And it is it is astounding. We are finding, I mean, the real scientists, the few scientists that are out there are finding that this part of the autonomic nervous system is completely manipulated by the guts you have in your gut, the microbes you have in your gut, the guts you have in your microbes. So the microbes in your gut can order to your gut, stop your peristalsis, stop altogether to digest these things, because I don't want it. And in nature, this is a good thing, you know, because we are supposed to have good bacteria. But actually, we are not in a natural world anymore. So, what is the need of cooked food? Of cooked meat in particular. I would say that there is no need of cooked meat. But sometimes you want to have it because, in my opinion, the proteins that are contained in slightly cooked meat, be careful, slightly cooked. I mean, cut it on stripes and then leave it 10 seconds in a pan with just a bit of water, you know, like 1 centimeter of water, bring it to a boil, and then for 10 seconds, leave the meat there and then take out the meat. This liberates the proteins and are feeding your body. But I would say that it is, I mean, I have raw meat and slightly cooked meat during the evening. So actually, you can really have just cooked meat. That is not the same with vegetables. Actually, I would say that in my experience, so one has not to overdo fibers. When I was not digesting well, fibers were, you know, a taboo for me. I could not have any fiber at all. I would feel so much awful. And this is not that fibers are bad. It's just that we are all inflamed. Our intestines are completely inflamed nowadays. And sorry again for the neighbors screaming. I think that she has been left by her boyfriend. Poor girl. So, but when you begin to fix all this kind of things, you can begin to eat fiber again. And speaking about more cooked fibers, but be careful. Depending on your genetic, you should not have too much fiber. Okay, so the number of fiber you can digest is dictated by your genetic. If your ancestors ran wild hunting, then your level of fibers that you can tolerate are not that high, but still there are some. I mean, Inuit were eating fibers, very, very few fibers, but they were eating fibers. Okay, and my personal experience, so with cooked meat, I said that sometimes, for example, when I work out, I recover better when I eat, you know, some bit of cooked meat in the evening. And if you cannot do that, if you cannot digest that, it is for two reasons. One, you are not succeeding in getting in your nutrients, and that does not mean that you are not trying to. But you know, there is a concept called homeostasis. So we have grown up. No, not grown up. We are born with toxins inside our bodies. If you are born from the 50s, which I think you are, then your body is utilizing toxins to build the tissues since you were in the womb of your mother. So it is a huge deal, because your body creates an homeostasis with this kind of proteins. Did you know that if you lack calcium in your bones, in order to make the bones strong, your body will try to utilize fluoride, because chemically speaking, the molecule is similar, but that will give you fragile bones, osteoporosis, etc., etc. But still, your body will be in some kind of homeostasis with fluoride. So you can take in all the calcium you want, but you will have to convince your body to take it in, and not just to take it in. It needs to be absorbed, then I don't remember the exact word, but divided into, atoms, then transported, then usable in a local, in the places where it is used, and it needs to be usable, and then if there are some discharges, it need to be quickly eliminated. These are the bioavailable minerals. So if you are taking in calcium, that is bioavailable, but you have so much lead. Another thing, for example, when you don't have enough calcium in the enzyme binding sites, which is the sites in your body where enzymes reactions are happening, then your body can try to utilize lead, and that will really inflame your body. And you can have all the fermented food you want, and you can take in all the nutrients you want, but you will have to convince your body to dump lead first, so it can take in calcium. Okay, so this is the reason why you are not digesting well, because you are inflamed. Your tissues are in desperate needs of nutrients, but still your organism say, no, I'm okay with that. I survived until now. I want to keep surviving. Your mechanism, your body is meant for surviving, not for live fully. You are going to live fully if you take responsibility, and if you're going to also have a spiritual life. This is very, very much important. And I'm not saying, just repeating some mantras or going into the church. No, a real deep connection, and also, all those situations are going to call the microbes and the microorganisms that are not good, the mutagenic ones. Not good. For what pertains to cooked fiber, what I do is I eat a bunch of vegetables. I cooked it meals by meal, and when my body says stop, I stop. Then to this bunch of vegetables that I bought, I look the next day. I say, okay, from yesterday, all these vegetables remained. I juiced them. So juices are good, but if you want to liberate all the minerals, you have to slightly cook them. But juices are better for vitamins absorption. So or also some other minerals are better absorbed with juicing. For example, iron. My humble opinion is that you should have a bit of fat with juice. Raw fat would be the best, of course. But again, I can drink all the juice I want, but when I have some cooked spinach, I recover so much faster from exercise, and my body is like getting oxygenated. Also, keep in mind that I kept my liquids high, which is a thing that Adonis was against. And again, in a natural world, he may be right, although he based very much on Inuit culture. If you go and see Aboriginals of Australia, they used to drink 2 liters or even 3 liters a day, but of course they were living near a desert, so it was kind of normal. But nowadays, ramping up your liquids far from meals, not near meals, in my opinion, we need it for other purposes. Okay, but I'm not going into this because it will be a bit, the video will be too much a bit longer, too much long. So um, again, if we look at what ancient tribes used to do, they mainly eat or raw meat or slightly cooked meat. They eat very much fermented foods, but they used to ferment meat with salt, except Inuit that were doing Ike fish. And I think that Ike fish got a place, although I'm doing it very much more frequently, to be honest. And I am having more benefits doing it less frequently than I used to in the past. They use salt, and that is a thing that you can find, all around informations of the ancient tribes, from Native Americans to Aboriginals, in particular from tribes from Africa. They are very good in fermenting, in particular tribes from South Sudan. They are the champions. They were at the beginning of the century, as Weston Price tells us about fermentation. They used to ferment everything, actually. Camel milk, raw meat, but with salt, the meat. And they used to slightly cook vegetables and sometimes even eat it raw. Of course, they did not have juice. Juice can be seen like a supplement, but it does not have to be a substitute for the cooked veggies. So actually, when I begin to reintroduce veggies, I begin to feel so much oxygenated. My blood was flowing so much. I used to have less constipated breath. I don't know how to say it. My breath were longer, smoother, quieter. I began to sleep more and sleep more soundly and wake up so full of energy. Was so good. And I think that I replied to these questions. Okay, so thank you guys. I welcome you so much, and it's a pleasure to find people that are actually just asking, without attacking. Thank you.